I think it's getting started. And I'm going to check that and see if it's me on the screen.
Really?
Good. Okay. All right. Good to see you. I think the Warriors are going to win in 4. Everybody with me on that?
Man, quiet. So we get at least one.
All right. Anyway, last week we talked a little bit about lying and stuff because it's like a lot of people, like in the news, you read fake news.
Yeah.
Newspapers, the media, the internet, it's like they put stuff out there that ain't true. Whenever you see anything, you need to do due diligence, which means to look it up. Don't take what somebody gives to you off online that it's true without checking it out, because there's a lot of lies out there. One time I was reading an article, it was a political article, and the one guy was saying something about one political party. And all of a sudden he says all these things and they were wrong and they were this. When I looked the guy up, he was a member of that political party and he had ties to them. So he's trying to pretend that he's just one of us average people, but he wasn't. So a lot of times people will try and pull the wool over your eyes. That's like another form of lying. On the card in front of you on your paper, it talks about, I will not tease or mock other people. Abraham Lincoln. Everybody heard of Abraham Lincoln? Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Abraham Lincoln, honest Dave. That's a good way to describe him. When he was running for president, there was this man named William Stanton who mocked Abraham Lincoln out. You ever seen pictures of Lincoln? He had this like really big top hat. Okay, I think he could fit some people inside that hat. I mean, it was a tall hat. They called it like a stove hat. I don't really know why. Maybe they carried coal in there. I'm just making that up. Don't take that as a truth, because I really don't know. But when Lincoln was running for president, Stanton mocked him out. He called him an overgrown gorilla in a top hat. Okay? He called him all kinds of things. So, but Lincoln never mocked him out. Lincoln didn't mock him out in return. Okay? He didn't put him down. Years later, you know the story, Lincoln was assassinated, okay, by John Wilkes Booth in Ford's Theater. He was assassinated. When Lincoln lay in a casket, William Stanton, let me back up a little bit. When Lincoln needed a Secretary of War for his cabinet, when somebody becomes president, they appoint members of their inner circle, okay? So he was appointed Stanton, who had a drinking problem, as the Secretary of War. And people says, Abe, I'm making this up too, just paraphrasing. Abe, what are you, stupid? This guy hates you. He mocked you out. He put you down. He stabs you in the back. Lincoln responded, he's the best man for the job. Lincoln looked inside people and saw the best in people, regardless of what came out of their mouths. The reason people mock people out, they want to make themselves look good, and they probably been mocked out when they were younger. I grew up in a teasing family, so teasing was normal. But when you tease people, it hurts. It ain't funny. I was just only joking, man. Yeah, I was only joking. You ain't joking. You're hurting people. So the words that come out of our mouths, like you read on a paper, it can be like a forest fire. A small spark can start a forest fire. The rudder of a ship. You see a great big long ship, it's got a little rudder in the back that steers the ship. Our tongues can hurt people. You can destroy reputations. I see it on Facebook all the time. People are destroying reputations, and they shouldn't be. So that's the spiel on the truth. And if you would, it says on the bottom, by our speech we can ruin the world. You really can. Okay? You probably have heard a butterfly can create a hurricane on the other side of the world. Y'all heard that story?
Yeah. No.
No? Never heard that? Okay, it's pretty cool. It goes like this. One flap of a butterfly's wings pushes one molecule of air, which pushes another, pushes another, pushes another, until on the other side of the world you have a mass of molecules of air that could become a hurricane, could become a tornado, because that's all it takes. It's like a snowflake on top of a mountain. One snowflake comes down, gathers another one, and you got an avalanche. One little spark of venom out of your mouth can bring down a reputation. People have been hurt by that. So that's the butterfly story. So, and if you would, do me a favor, take these, put them in your pocket, okay? You don't have to do it right now. You could if you wanted to. Put them in your pocket. And maybe when you get home, get it out. Maybe you put it on your dresser. Maybe you put it on your wall. Maybe you make a collection of these, or maybe you drop them on the floor.
Can I add something?
Yes, quickly.
Okay, so just remember also your words are also like toothpaste. Once it's out of the tube, you can't put it back in.
That's a good point. I like that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and brush your teeth too while you're at it. Okay. All right. Our speaker tonight, I don't even know how to introduce our speaker because I really know nothing about you. Who can introduce our speaker? Okay. I just found her on the street and invited her in. Thought she'd be good.
Well, I'd like to introduce good old what's her name? Angela. She is the daughter of Ms. Paula, who's sitting right there, and I've known you for quite a while. Very skilled young lady, has had an interesting life, has been to some interesting places, very passionate for certain things that I'm sure she's going to share with you. But basically, she's cool. That is better than I can say. She's cool. She's neat. So listen to what she has to say because she's got some good stuff. Angela.
So bear with me. It's been a few years since I've done this, and my Apple Watch is saying my heart is 127 right now. So tonight, as I was gathering my thoughts for this message, I kind of just wanted to title it, Am I Accepted? And I see that we kind of have some various ages in the group, but it was for our young ones mostly, but I hope that it applies to the adults in this room too. So one of the biggest things that I'm noticing, just even as 23 years old, is how huge social media is right now and how it's affecting them. Mm-hmm. So when I was their age, I would say Facebook was probably the biggest social media there was. And then it became Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and whatever else is out there. I don't even know myself. And what they could do now on social media, I couldn't when I was 15 years old. So it's amazing what they can find, what they see at 3 o'clock in the morning just on social media. But one of the biggest things that I'm seeing with their age group is what society is trying to put in their minds, which is what is beautiful and what is not, what is good looking and what is not. And what breaks my heart the most is when I see these children thinking that they have to look at that Victoria's Secret model body status on Instagram where they're getting 20,000 followers and they're sitting there with 15. And they feel that they have to match that category in order to be accepted as beautiful and good looking just in this world. To walk through the halls feeling proud because they have 1,000 likes on their picture that they just uploaded an hour ago. And it's amazing that, you know, they could just go right onto Instagram and that would be the first thing that they see. And my question to you guys is, what does that do to you? Does that affect you in any way? Does it affect you when you see your friends getting 1,000 more likes than you and, you know, they're posting the half-naked pictures on social media? I mean, really, I know that sounds funny, but think about it. Yeah. I'm seeing 12-year-olds in crop tops from Victoria's Secret and shorts up to here, and then posting them. I see young men thinking that they have to be at the gym 25 times a day and then posting about it just so that someone at school thinks that they're cool enough to join the basketball team, to join the football team. And you guys have no idea how much my heart breaks for you because I remember walking through the halls of grammar school and high school and feeling alone. When I was in high school, my senior year, I had a face full of acne. It was bad, and I was made fun of, really bad. I got sent home one day because I couldn't relax because I just got made fun of. And my mom had to sit there and remind me that I was beautiful, but I didn't believe it because I wasn't considered beautiful. Because everybody else had this beautiful clear skin, everybody had these beautiful bodies, and then there's skinny Angela walking through the halls. I know what that feels like. It's terrible that you have to fit into this category, into this world, to be accepted, to be beautiful, to be good looking. I mean, even in the adults in here, like, do you know where I'm coming from? Yes. It wasn't that long ago that I was their age. And to be honest, adults, parents, mom and dads, it's getting worse. It is. And I see it, and I don't know any of them personally, but I do have some of your kids on social media, and it breaks my heart to see what they're seeing. And one of the scriptures that I'm sure that you guys have all heard 1,000 times, but what really came to my heart was Psalms 139, 13 through 16. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days were ordained for me, were written in your book before one of them came to be. Do you see what that scripture says? That God fearfully and wonderfully made you. He didn't scrap you together with whatever he had left from the last person. He didn't take what he thought was not good enough and put you together. He took such precious time to create each and every single one of you. He knew exactly what you would look like, what you would talk like, what kind of personality you would have. He knew all of that before you were even conceived. Do you know how long ago that was that he did that for you? So why would he create you and put you in this world for you to go on social media and try and find something to make yourself better? Now, I'm not saying that there is nothing wrong with taking care of your bodies. We are the temple. And God even says in his word that we need to care for our temples. But that means by exercising regularly, eating right. It doesn't mean that you have to fit Victoria's Secret model to be accepted. Because you know what? 10 years from now, what's considered beautiful now won't.
Yeah.
What was considered 10 years ago that was beautiful isn't now. Just like social media is becoming the biggest thing. That wasn't big 15 years ago. When I was 6 years old, I don't even know if social media was really around.
No.
You do
Not really.
MySpace.
MySpace. That's going way back.
It's a payphone.
Way back.
TVs went around when I was there.
Pagers, man. That's what we had. We had a giant cell phones, man.
That was back in the 80s.
Up here. Oh, hey, 90, yeah. 94.
They were like this big.
Because MySpace did exist before Facebook.
Oh yeah, and again, like way back when, right?
Yeah.
And that was known to be one of the most dangerous social media sites.
Yeah,
Because there were like people catfishing.
yeah, yeah. I know. Nancy and I were talking about. I don't know if you guys heard of Momo.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean,
That breaks my heart.
that's targeted at them because at that age, that is where they are most vulnerable to be independent and learn what they can and cannot be. You know, and I won't even get into the details of Momo if you guys don't know what Momo is. But my point of this whole message is to get you guys to realize that if you're listening to these so-called experts, clearly they have no idea what fearfully and wonderfully made is by God means.
And they don't have that picture image because it's like all photo touched.
And the Victoria's Secret model, I'm pointing them out because they are probably the most advertised other than other places, but do you guys realize that their pictures are probably edited 1,000 times before they're actually uploaded for you to pay attention to? So that's where your attention is going. And just because I'm teaching this message, I have to teach it to myself every single day, just getting ready in the morning. When I'm putting my makeup on, when I'm putting my clothes on, I literally have to remind myself when I don't feel good about myself that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That's something that you're going to do for the rest of your life. But what you don't want to get yourself into is feeling that you have to change yourself completely from what God made you originally to fit into this world, to get that certain person to notice you, just to feel accepted. I have been there. It is a terrible place to be. And when you start changing yourself, you are not mentally or spiritually the same. And I know you guys are probably drowning me out, and that's okay. I get it. I've been that age. But I just want to give you guys just a very clear message that I know that you are at the age where you don't want to listen to your parents, and you feel that they are just bossy and ruling, and you know, when you ask for a later curfew and they say no, I know you probably won't listen to me when I say this, but hear them out. Because there was a time in my life where I stopped listening to mom and dad, and it brought me to a very hard place in my life. So just know that your parents love you, and even though it seems that they're being bossy, it's because they love you and they don't want to see you go to those places. So that's just where I'm going to leave off.
I have a daughter that's like, I don't know, like around 27. I'm an old head. Y'all are young heads. Okay, you got that? Okay? And it's like, the problem with an old head, it's like your heart gets broken so many times. It's like a muscle. So it's like when your heart gets broken, a lot of times it gets bigger. And what you want to do as an old head, you want to take all this stuff that's in this brokenness, the muscle of what you learned, which is like wisdom, and you want to give it to young heads like that. I want you to know now everything that this old head knows. And I know you can't, and it's a bad on me to expect you to, but it's like, the reason that you're here, out of all the people in the world, I mean, this is a message is for the ages. This is really cool. Somebody who's not that much older than y'all, and all of a sudden, they're telling you some stuff that's really cool. The way you are is perfect, right? The way you sit there. You're perfect. You were made perfect just as you are, because there ain't nobody else like you in the world. That's pretty cool stuff. So, at this point, it is Dominique's birthday today, and you're what, on Sunday or something?
Last Sunday.
Oh, well then, okay, we'll forget about you because we passed that.
Oh, happy belated.
All right. Well, why doesn't somebody do a birthday prayer? How's that sound? Okay. Anybody want to do a birthday prayer for us? Anybody do any kind of? All right, go ahead. All right.
Father, I thank you that the two birthdays that we really are celebrating right now were fearfully and wonderfully dated. I thank you they were dated for such a time as this. And every moment of their life, I pray the hand of God on it. I thank you that they were fearfully and wonderfully made. And you will continue the good work that you have begun in them. I thank you, Holy Spirit, that you are their guide and you're the map for the rest of their lives. And you bless them. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Okay, before we eat, and when you come up to eat, you can actually thank the people that give you the food. During the summer, sometimes we get bored. If you want to do something this summer, if you want to go to camp and get out of town for a while, you need to tell us, because we can find a way to make that happen. If you want to go to somewhere else and do something, if you want to form a basketball team, there is a league that's starting. The league is very competitive. There's some teams that might fly above the rim. That doesn't mean that you can't beat them with three-pointers. But so you got to step forward and make things happen. So if you want something, you need to speak it. So you can write it down and tell us and all that stuff. So anyway, I think that's all we got. Thank you for the good food. That was a great message. Thank you very much. All right. Manja.
Manja, come on up.
Oh, and by the wall, on the way, you can look on the wall, and there's my wifey for lifey on the wall. She's a world famous author. You know why she's world famous? Because I like put her picture on Facebook, you know?
I love her because thanks to God.
But writing a book is really easy. If you ever want to write a book, tell me, and I will help you write a book.
I'm on Instagram.
Okay? Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Forgetting.